What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with John Lee, CEO and Executive Chairman of FLYN Nickel Mining. It's a pleasure to have you back on, John. How are you doing today?
Good to be back on your show, Aaron, and Happy New Year, and soon Happy Chinese New Year in 3 days' time.
Yes, that's correct. It's this weekend. So it's been a little while since we last spoke. Let's start by getting an update on the company and everything that you've been up to.
Right, Aaron. FLYN Nickel is a new company that listed on the Toronto Ventures Exchange. The symbol is FLYN, FLYN, in March. As you recall, when I came on your show, nickel was in that on that precipice of what turned out to be one of the largest unprecedented nickel run in history. Since then, the company's always set us mandate for 2022, which was to conduct a maiden drill program since we acquired the project in 2021, and complete the feasibility study, and then make good progress on the permitting front. So I'll be pleased to report that we've made good strides on all three fronts. It is a nickel project. The flagship project the name is Manago, and it's located on the Thompson Nickel Belt. That is the second largest nickel camp in North America, based on 5 billion pounds of nickel production in its history.
It's a very unique project. So the company reported multiple platinum and palladium intersections of up to 9.4 grams per ton from historic Manago drill holes. Further PGM assays pending from 97 drill holes. That's over 7,000 meters of sections. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, Aaron, we acquired the project in 2021 based on the merit of its nickel resource. And the project had well over $50 million spent on it. Majority is on drilling. So it had over 85,000 meters of drilling, and there's a resource of over 1 billion pounds of nickel at a 0.7% nickel that's open pit optimized. So that is all being known in the market. And that's what has driven the FLYN Nickel share price to $1.40 at the IPO, over 100 million market cap. Right now it's less than 10. As FLYN Nickel did its first round of drill program in 2022, and with the assays that came out in September and October and November. And what we noticed is that, hey, there is quite a lot of platinum and palladium in the assays, and it's never been really talked about before. What's going on? And some of the assays are 50, 60 meters, close to 1 gram of platinum, palladium, and gold. Again, I mean, that is a very wide intersection with really appreciable PGM content of a gram. A gram, again, is over $60. Mm-hmm. So I instructed our team to go back to some of the historical drill cores and then the looking at the assays from the historical past. It turned out, Aaron, only 20% of the cores have been assayed for PGM. And the cores that had been assayed for PGM, the assays were actually not released to the general market. And there was a very close correlation between the nickel content and the PGM content, logically. And this is the Thompson Nickel Belt, so it's the geology is very well known. So we were scratching our heads at what's going on, and the only conclusion was that the project was under development at a relatively high nickel prices to the PGM prices. A majority of the drill holes were made prior to year 2000. That's before the invention of the catalytic converters. So I think the previous operator were focusing so much on nickel as a priority, and the PGM dimension was completely overlooked. So we go back to the archive, we'll pull out some of the representative, and these assays were released in the news release. There are 8 holes we released, as well as the drill holes that we FLYN Nickel drilled. They all have PGM intersections. So they're representative. They're not cherry-picked assays, but they're more representative different locations in the deposit. So that's a very exciting development. And all in all, as stated in the news release, we have meticulously sort of went to the warehouse, looking at the different cores that we need to not yet re-assay for PGM, in order to come up with a PGM resource, which we are very confident, based on the homework that we have done in the last 3 months, that there were highly likely to be a PGM resource. And what the investor will be looking for the next 3 to 4 months up till June is continued assays of PGM results on a rolling basis. This is very exciting and easily would transform Manago from an already a very a quality and unique, exceptional project into something of a monster of PGM and nickel in Canada, which is quite rare. All the quality ones is being taken over by the Vales and Glencore. So this is one of the very, very few, maybe less than 5 out there in Canada that has a PGM and a PGM and a nickel open pit optimized nickel project in Canada. Very exciting.
So FLYN Nickel recently provided an update on its Manago nickel PGM project, environmental act license, impact benefit agreement, and feasibility study. What does this mean for the company?
Right. So I think, Aaron, you're referring to that news release we put out 2 days ago, and that is just an update from some of the objectives that the company set out on set of 2022. The feasibility study is going very well, but given the new sort of PGM angle we brought into the equation, we would rather defer postpone the release of the feasibility study until we incorporate the PGM economics into the feasibility study. On the permitting front, we have been working very closely with the Manitoba government as well as the First Nations, Norway House First Nations community. Everybody is very supportive of the project, and we're very appreciative and grateful of their time and efforts. So we've been talking to all the stakeholders on a monthly basis, and all the reviews of the permitting has been completed. And we really would expect a rendering of a decision for the Environmental Act license before the first half of 2023. There has been a slight delay. It's just because of different workings and the outside of our control. But this Environmental Act license will be the last piece of permit required for the construction to start. So there are no further federal permits required. All the environmental studies have been completed. And so that has really put it as the last mile where we're reaching out before we can make that construction decision. And that will also sort of gel very well with the timing of the update of the feasibility study. And so that's, and the First Nations, we're going up there. Our team is going up there next week. We have hammered out a number of issues and concerns. We've made great strides, and we're negotiating, Aaron, just to be clear, is the final impact benefit assessment. It's not an MOU. That's already been done last year. So we're really getting down to the nitty-gritty details of an agreement that will govern over the lifetime of the mine. So I think investor will reasonably also understood that. We just want to make sure everything is complete and well conceived. And then I think during that process also we discovered there are some byproduct credits such as limestone and granite, of which that can help reduce the capex of the project. So all in all, we don't see any material showstoppers, and it's a function of time. And even though there haven't been a whole lot of news out of FLYN Nickel last year, the best is yet to come. So we're looking forward to provide further updates in the first half of this year.
So let's talk about the commodity markets now. Lithium always gets the spotlight for some reason when it comes to EV metals. Why should investors be paying attention to nickel versus other commodities out there?
Well, Aaron, I'm a different generation from you. 5 years ago, nobody cared about lithium in Canada, even though lithium was already bubbling in Australia and in China. And you had a number of lithium companies actually went bankrupt in Quebec, even though the writing was on the wall. So this is, to me, I'm not too concerned about it. This is a deja vu all over again. And this is nothing to do with, Canada is a latecomer, not because you guys are well endowed in oil, in hydro, in all the energy, in natural gas. So you don't need to be worrying about electric vehicles, right? You have the hydros and the uranium as well. Mm-hmm. So, but the trend is unequivocal and undeniable. And the EV electric vehicles are here to stay. Recently, Tesla, a week ago, just surpassed BMW as the #1 luxury vehicle sales in the United States for 2022. And this is only the starting point. You're looking at passenger vehicles, and you look at trucks. Look at the Hummer. They're doing 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds. And it's taken probably 3 times as much nickel as needed. for Hummer to be doing that sort of acceleration given its weight. And also that, Aaron, in the very short span of the battery development in the last 5 years under Tesla and Panasonic and the likes, and Porsche and Audi, the nickel battery, the nickel MnC-A11, nickel, manganese, and cobalt is 80% nickel, is the de facto standards for high performance batteries. It's going to be at least 5 years before other alternatives are found. How do I know that, Aaron? We're being approached by some of the largest auto and battery manufacturers. They share their roadmap with us, and nickel is the dominant focus of their strategy. Not to mention they have other plan Bs and plan C, but we see the demand for nickel five years out is solid. It's only going to grow. And as well, also Tesla recently had a 20% discount they just announced. So they're shifting their strategy from high-end selective and limited supply to mass consumption. Okay, so that will benefit investors and the general public, but at the expense of higher nickel consumption. And what that means is going to be even more nickel needed than it was originally forecasted. And it's no surprise that Elon Musk 3 years ago said mine as much nickel as you can. If you can mine nickel responsibly, environmentally friendly, we'll give you a giant fat contract. And you know, since the nickel has gone up 40% at $12.50, it's still 70% down from $50 peak in 2022, but it's 50% higher. So I think that my 2023 target for nickel is going to be somewhere between $12.50 to $50. It's tough to say because once nickel past 15, there's really no historical precedence on how it could go, kind of like silver past 50. So I would just pick a round number halfway through around 20 to 25 as 2020 as my target for nickel for 2023. And last but not least, you know, Elon is so bought into nickel. He's done deal with some of the largest nickel producers in Vale, in Indonesia, Madagascar. And that's why he openly talked about their batteries are not lithium batteries. They're actually nickel batteries. Just go to the extent of the commitment and the maturity and the standards of batteries involving nickel, Aaron, going forward.
It's going to be an exciting year. Let's see what happens when we have you back on. So what makes Flying Nickel such a unique project compared to other competitors or companies out there?
Well, Aaron, again, I've been in the industry for more than 20 years in the mining industry. First 10 years as an investor, and second 10 years as running a company. First as a hobby, and then turning into a decade-old job. Is I am probably the junior mining CEO that's done most nickel deals. So I know nickel probably better than 99% of the junior mining CEOs out there. And Manago is the one that I love the most, and that I targeted, I put my eye on 10 years ago. So I know I've acquired nickel project in the Yukon, in Ontario, in Sudbury, and in Manitoba, elsewhere in Lynn Lake. And this Manago project is by far none the best. Why? Exceptional open pit optimized grade at 0.74 RM. Because of lack of investment in nickel sulfide space, the average grade for nickel open pit sulfide mines 10 years ago, 2005, was 0.7, where Manago was in that bracket. But today it's 0.4. So that put Manago a leg above but beyond the current open pit head grades for nickel sulfide projects. By 2030, based on credible research, Aaron, that average nickel grade for open pit nickel sulfide mines is going to go to 0.25. So Manago is going to only become more valuable going from now. And second, besides the 0.74 grade, which is 2 to 3 times higher than all of our competitors or peers, is probably the greenest nickel mine in the world, because Manitoba is 99% hydro versus Ontario for say 75. So we're a third greener than we're 30% more green than the Sudbury peers, and we are 100% greener than the guys in Indonesia, because they rely on coal-fired power plants for their power generation. And the third is our permitting stage. As I said, potentially within the next 6 months, the project could be green lighted for a construction decision. And last but not least, we throw in that PGM angle. just make the project even more compelling, especially at the current market cap of less than $10 million, which is a fraction, 1/7 of all the money that's being ever put into the project so far.
So if you had to narrow it down to, let's say, the top 3 things for 2023, what are you most excited about?
For the company?
Yeah.
You're going to see continued rolling out of the PGM resources. I mean, Aaron, we are a company of $10 million market cap, not 100, not 300. So we're not waiting for some very sophisticated decisions or some incredible milestones. Investors from now until the end of June could expect rolling continued assays of PGMs. And then, of course, we're going to tabulate the prior assay nickel results as well to go along with the PGM assays. So you're going to see this continued PGM assays, and then right along with the higher silver price, so nickel prices, fingers crossed. And then sometime down the road, this year, 2023, we feel pretty confident we can get the green light for this permit and announce a construction decision. And if all goes well, Aaron, I believe that Manago is one of the very few projects that can actually churn nickel out of the ground 2026 or 2027. Everybody else is still at a very preliminary stage, either on the permitting or on their feasibility study. Aaron?
Look forward to watching your progress. So where should investors go for more information on the company?
Yeah, we are on the TSX Ventures, FLYN, FLYN, and OTCQB, FLYNF. The company's homepage is flynickel.com, FLYnickel.com. Aaron, for those that know me, I used to be very active in Twitter, but I closed all my futures position in metals. I did a pretty good run, but I think that from where we are, the leverage on mining shares, especially selective juniors with well-established resource in a political safe jurisdiction, is going to have a lot more torque on your investment. I mean, you know, for these guys getting silver at 17, they already made 50% of their money. Whereas I think for junior mining companies right now, you can have a 3, 5 baggers, even 10 baggers, for the ones that you do your homework well, and then the companies with good assets. Aaron.
Agreed, John. Well, thank you so much for all those updates. I look forward to having you back on very shortly.
Thank you.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below, along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.